1 year that I was preparing for CAT, I was also doing internships. Leave those kind of clues for them to pick it up later, and you answer only those questions that you are interested in. For me, for every interview that I gave, my strategy differed. So the first thing that I did was, I'll decode two colleges for you, IIM Shillong and IIM Indore. So IIM Shillong will ask you a lot of questions for, and IIM Indore focuses on whatever you did in.
सो हाय एवरीवन, वेलकम टू आवर न्यू पॉडकास्ट। सो आज के पॉडकास्ट में हमारे साथ जो गेस्ट है, शी इज अ गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट फ्रॉम आईआईएम इंदौर। सो आज उनसे सुनते हैं कि उनकी कैट की कहानी क्या थी। सो वेलकम पलक। तो पलक मेरी बैचमेट भी है। तो पलक, लेट्स स्टार्ट। सबसे पहले तो एक बार इंट्रोड्यूस कर दो अपने आप को कि तुम्हारी एजुकेशनल क्वालिफिकेशंस क्या है और इन सब चीज़ों थोड़ा सा बता दो। मतलब
Okay, so as Ravi rightly mentioned, my name is Palak Gupta. I am an economics honors graduate from Delhi University. Post that, I did my MBA from IIM Indore. And as Ravi mentioned, I'm a gold medalist from IIM Indore as well.
फ्लेक्स। कोई बात नहीं। सो मतलब इफ यू कुड जस्ट टेल अस कि तुमने कब डिसाइड किया कि तुम्हें एमबीए करनी है, एंड हाउ डिड यू केम टू नो अबाउट कैट?
Okay, so I decided to do my MBA after I actually graduated from Delhi University. So I took actually a gap year for uh, doing internships and figuring out where do I want to make my specialization in. So after doing my graduation, there were three options for me: either to go for a master in economics, take a job, or do MBA. I didn't want to study economics anymore, so I just did not go for masters.
Okay.
For job, I don't think I was equipped well enough, so I didn't go for that either. So by the method of elimination, I was only left with MBA. So that is when I decided, okay, let's do MBA.
Okay, so CAT की preparation, how did you start?
So basically, I started in somewhere around February of my last year. I joined Times. That's a coaching institute that is there for MBA. So I went to classes very religiously and regularly, and I also, after I completed my graduation, post that I started dedicating a good 6 to 7 hours amount of hours per day to actually start preparing for it.
What do you suggest personally कि coaching is beneficial or not?
So basically, I think it actually depends upon the person. For me, I'm a kind of a person who would like a structured learning kind of a way that would give me a certain routine. So that is why the coaching was really beneficial to me, because it gave me a sense that which all topic should be prepared and which all topic should be given the maximum focus to. However, there is a sense of personal commitment to it as well. If you're not personally committed enough, you won't end up doing that much for CAT and from CAT. However, I know a lot of people that did not take coaching.
I am one of
Yeah,
them.
they did not take coaching and just went about, giving CAT as it is. And I personally think that most of them were engineers, because they
And I am not an engineer.
because they had a huge amount of preparation they do when they go from 12th to the first year. But I did do that when I was preparing for BMS and everything. But I think for me, classes do help if you want to have a structured way to go about it. Also, they give you a lot of practice tests that help you in the long run.
So practice test, how? What is the importance of practice test? If you could just tell the students out there who are watching this podcast, because usually क्या होता है, this happened with me as well, कि syllabus इतना ज़्यादा होता है ना, तो we just keep focusing on the syllabus कि quants complete करना है, DILR complete करना है, and ये सब चीज़ें complete करनी है, and हम test पे ध्यान नहीं देते हैं.
So I think practice tests are the main thing that you have to do before CAT, because that will tell you what kind of questions are there. Because when you're starting in a coaching center, na, they'll make you do everything left and right,
Right.
that are not even relevant to the exam as such. But if you do mock exams, you know which area you are weak in, which area needs practice, and what kind of questions comes up. So I think that's the holy grail for CAT.
So what was your personal preparation strategy? अच्छा, preparation strategy से पहले, if you're comfortable, just tell us what was your CAT score?
My CAT score was really less. It was just 93 percentile. But
हाँ.
in all the practice exams that I gave, My percentile was somewhere between 95 to 99 percentile.
99%.
I choked in CAT because I am a exam choker. I usually choke when there is just one exam deciding the rest of your life.
And
So,
this is like now here the practice exams plays a role.
yeah.
So okay, so what was your strategy? How did you prepare? How much time did you devote? कौन से आपके weak subjects थे जिसमें आपने ज़्यादा focus किया? कैसे you deciphered it? If you could just help.
Okay, so I have been really good at maths from the starting. So that
Seriously?
Okay. So that didn't require that much effort from my end. However, the comprehensions bit of it, English comprehension part, that was my weakest area. And as I told you, I deciphered it by attending the classes, and So when the classes used to happen, they used to give us a worksheet that we have to complete. So my personal target usually was to do it before it's being discussed in the class, so that I know what my areas are. I used to I just did it for fun or my own competition to just make sure that I get everything right. So English was the only thing I never got right that much. DILR and maths I did. So that is the subject I was weakest in, and that was the subject that I concentrated most on.
Okay.
And improving English through my practice exam paper was the main thing
And
that I did.
English, what I have personally experienced, as Nikhil also prepares for CAT, is preparing for CAT. So ये English को तो sideline कर देते हैं. सबसे पहले फोकस इज ऑन क्वांट्स कि लेट्स कंप्लीट क्वांट्स, उसके बाद DILR हाँ थोड़ा बहुत कर लिया, और उसके बाद इंग्लिश आता है सबसे एंड में. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक, सबको इक्वली लेके चलना चाहिए या फिर प्रायोरिटी सेट करनी चाहिए?
I think English ke liye specifically, there are some questions that are very easy and some questions that are very tricky, and if you're not that good at it, I would rather ask you to leave them in the exam rather than doing it, because that will give you an advantage, because you won't be negatively scored for that. Okay, so I think for you and me, the preparation strategy would be different. Like a person who is excellent in maths might sideline maths, okay,
Obviously,
but
yeah.
they need to realize it that if that is their strong point, they need to make it that strong
Stronger.
enough that they score 100 percentile right there and then.
Okay.
So it would differ.
Yeah, and so if you could just give a glimpse, there are like three parts: English, quants, and DILR. So सब में पास होना is important, scoring a percentile, a cut off percentile is important, या फिर आप किसी में कम लाके और में ज़्यादा ला सकते हो and you can make it done.
So basically, there is a minimum, I think, 90 percentile that all the good schools require, and then it depends upon what you individually score in it. But I think you need to be a baseline good in everything, and then move to mastering one of those subjects.
जैसे ही आपका रिजल्ट आया जिस टाइम पे कैट का, सो हाउ वाज योर फीलिंग? मतलब कैसा था, एंड कैसे तुमने चेक किया, एंड एकदम से घर वालों को कैसे बताया एंड ऑल?
I was really disappointed.
मतलब she was living the life that so many people, so many students of India wanted to live, and she was disappointed.
Yeah, because I expected somewhere around 99 percentile. I didn't get it. I was really disappointed. But when my happiness soared when I got a call from IIM Indore. That is the point I swore to myself that I won't let myself down, and I will make sure I make through this call.
Achha, so if we talk about calls, so from where did you get calls? From which all colleges?
So I had calls from all the baby IIMs. I had call from IIM Shillong, and that was IIM Indore, and then I gave other exams as well for MBA, NMAT.
What were those? Yeah.
I gave NMAT, SNAP, Excel. I don't remember XLRI is what exam name was that, but I gave that as well. So I cleared SNAP and NMAT. XLRI exam and did not clear because that had GK, and my GK is 0.
So I prepared for TIS, and TIS में भी GK आती है. So
I
just remember
TIS I didn't give. I had cleared IIM Indore. I was like, okay, fine.
I was very much fascinated about TIS, and so TIS के exam में I scored I guess 64 and cut off was at 66, ऐसा कुछ था उस time पे. So just 2 marks से.
I filled in the the fees and everything, but I didn't want
अच्छा,
to.
apart from baby IIMs and so old IIMs में से किस में से call आई थी? IIM Indore?
Yeah, I am
apart from
Indore.
IIM Indore, any other?
No.
Because I got a call, even I got a similar percentile. I got a call from this IIM Bangalore as well.
No.
IIM Bangalore, because there was a new program that was starting MBA Analytics.
I am not sure. So they ask you for the option when you're filling the CAT form. They ask you option what all courses you have to fill. So in that, whatever courses you select, you get a call from that. So I don't think I checked any other than the main program that was there.
एक तो वो वाला भी तो टाइम होता है ना, इफ यू कुड जस्ट एक्सप्लेन कि जिस टाइम पे यू आर क्लियरिंग सम ऑफ द कॉलेजेस एंड बाकी कॉलेजेस की जो लिस्ट है वो बाद में रिलीज होती है, लाइक सेकंड कट ऑफ, थर्ड कट ऑफ में. सो वो वाला टाइम एंड वो वाला फेज कैसा होता है?
So basically, I cleared NMAT for INM IMS somewhere around in my first attempt in October only. I was sure that I am going to get an interview call from this college, and my CAT became a disaster in November. So till January, I had no idea which all colleges I'm getting called from.
Okay.
So I was literally on the edge whether I want to go about it or not. So that
You had many friends from NMIMS as well.
because I initially got the first offer from NMIM, so I joined it for like about a month or so, and then IIM Indore released their waiting list.
So what was your interview preparation strategy? अब जब result आ गया था तो how did you prepare for interview? Did you prepare for interview or you went like कि देख लेंगे जो होगा?
So I prepared for interviews very rigorously because I knew that I scored a little less in my CAT examinations, and I wanted to give my 100% in the interviews because I knew that it carries a good 50-60% of a weightage in my admission. So for me, for every interview that I gave, my strategy differed. So the first thing that I did was I went to Google. I googled what all questions they ask in an interview. So if you Google it, you will find a specific pattern that is there for every college that is there.
If you could just decode the pattern for our viewers.
So basically, I'll decode two colleges for you. IIM Shillong and IIM Indore. So IIM Shillong will ask you a lot of questions on GK,
Okay.
political and history. These are the two main subjects that they focus on. And IIM Indore focuses on whatever you did in your undergraduation. They are very academic focused. So
Okay. Yes, I can relate to that. My first interview was of IIM Indore only.
So my view was I collected all my graduation books from economics honors, and I went through all of them, at least the highlight one of it. So if you are actually from, do you know na, we get an elective to study
Yes.
for the first 2 years. So for me, all those 4 electives were maths.
Okay.
So I had to study that also because I knew that they might ask questions from me on that also.
So were you that studious? या कुछ और था?
You were with me in MBA. What do you think?
That we'll talk about in the next podcast. That would be about the IIM life and all. So I'm keeping some stuff for that. Okay.
So that was the basic code. Like you go to Google, you decode whatever pattern that is there, and you start studying accordingly.
Okay.
And you should have a 90-second introduction about yourself.
Yeah.
And you should know each and everything that is there in your CV or whatever you gave them, any internship that you did, any work experience you have. You should be very thorough.
And one more thing there I would like to add, just we do not need to give open-ended answers. If you'll give open-ended answers, then they are the professors who are sitting there and IIM Indore, they'll catch you that this person is doing this, and now then they'll start cross-questioning and getting deep into it, and then you'll get stuck.
So I am a very strong believer of the fact that you are the one who controls your interview.
Exactly. I felt this.
I do not believe that the interview does it. I believe that you control it. You give them clues as to what you want to answer in your next question. So
Because
for
this
example,
happened. Yeah.
you and I am giving an introduction to you. I leave little clues for you in that introduction itself, that suppose I did an internship there, its topic was that. Either make the topic name very interesting that they are bound to ask, okay, आपने इसमें करा क्या था exactly. So leave those kind of clues for them to pick it up later, and you answer only those questions that you are interested in answering.
So this happened with me. My first interview was of IIM Indore. I learned a lot of things from that. Okay, I just prepared. Then I prepared pointers like what would I say and what would be the specific keywords that I'm going to use. So उसके बाद जो IIM Indore के बाद जो भी interviews हुए, I was ruling my interview.
But you still ended up in Indore.
I still ended up at IIM Indore because I was a bit confident while answering, though I didn't knew the answers, but I was a bit confident कि हाँ ठीक है नहीं होगा तो ये नहीं सर है तो यही बेशक गलत बोल रहा हूँ लेकिन है यही to the best of my knowledge.
So my IIM Indore interview, the interviewer just opened my graduation mark sheet. There were like 40 subjects. Okay, he asked me 40 odd questions
From all those subjects.
He gave me a pen and paper to solve mathematical equations as well. Like, I'm telling you, by the end of my interview, they have exhausted that much questions from me that they were like, okay, now they're in the next temporary part that is at the end of an IIM Indore interview. So by the
For
end
my
of it,
like for me it didn't happen. This extemporary part.
For me, it happened, and when it happened, na, they were that much chill with me by the end of it that they gave me a personal choice that whatever topic that you want to speak upon, you speak. We won't give you
And
the
so
topic.
Palak is just what do we call it? Awesome in extempore. So she is the CP king हमारी क्लास में हुआ करती वो IIM इंदौर वाले इंटरव्यू में करेंगे मतलब किसी भी टॉपिक का आप तुम इसको टॉपिक बोलो और ये बोलने लग जाएगी बिना सोचे कि क्या क्या और करेक्ट बोलेगी बंदी पता नहीं कहाँ से लेके आती है टैलेंट बट है like the thing that Palak decoded it is true even in my IIM Indore's interview they asked me a lot of questions related to my undergraduation subject that was chemistry so they asked me a lot of questions from chemistry and luckily those questions were from my last semester's course.
So you remember.
So I remembered them. So वो हुआ. Okay, so after this, all this interview had happened. So which college did you convert first? Like there are lists. If I'll just brief this once to the audience. Once you give the interview, there are lists that colleges release. So ऐसा नहीं है कि सब colleges एक साथ list release करेंगे. वो बारी बारी करते हैं. So it might happen that for example, IIM Amritsar, you convert IIM Amritsar first और तुम वहाँ की फीस भर दो. And 2 दिन बाद तुम्हारे पास कॉल आ रही है कि you have converted IIM Indore as well. So these things as well happen. So how was your journey in that?
So as I told you, NMIMS was the first college that I converted.
Okay.
And I got the call somewhere around February. So I filled in the fees and everything.
For NMIMS.
NMIMS. So that year COVID had just stricken. Okay. So the interviews got a lot delayed. NMIMS was the first college to finish the interviews and release the lists. So naturally I joined the college. So they had a starting, getting to know each other sessions and preparatory sessions that they have.
And that induction part in which you need to do a lot of stuffs and exercises.
Yeah, it had a long introduction. So they used to divide you into 8 sections or groups and then they made you interact with each other and everything. So there I found a good 15-20 people group and I was enjoying my life there. And then suddenly in June, July, I got a call from IIM Indore that, okay, I've converted IIM Indore. I took an entire day to contemplate that if it's
should I go there or
not. Yeah. And eventually I...
So you face such similar situations like quite a lot of time in your life. Like this happened with me when I was there in my undergraduation. I had spent quite a great 1 month there in Ramjas College, Delhi University. Then I converted Hindu college. Now I was deciding, should I go to Hindu college or not, or should I still remain there in Ramjas? Though I decided to remain in Ramjas only, and it ended up really well. And similar thing happened with me while this IIM wala process also. I initially took admission in IIM this Kashipur. So I had my session started there. I had undergone all the induction process and all. I was taking my first class. And during the first 5 minutes, I received a mail pop up that you have converted IIM Indore. And I was like, I am leaving this college. I'm going to IIM Indore directly. So this happened with me.
Yeah, it depends. It gets a little bit tricky because you have to then make a choice. So IIM Indore, we converted HRM. Okay, so
now this was also
that
question.
was a factor to decide in. Okay, so you at that point of time you had to make a decision because NMIMS I was doing general MBA. Here I had to switch to HR. So the pointer question was that is HR something I wanted to do?
For the viewers who don't know, IIM Indore runs 2 programs. Basically, one is PGP, which is the normal MBA, and second is the PGP HRM, which is also an MBA, but it is entirely focused on human resource management. So this is the course that we both opted for.
Yeah. So basically, so before my MBA, the 1 year that I was preparing for CAT, I was also doing internships. So somewhere around November, I stumbled upon an HR internship there with an HR consultancy firm. Then I went. If you all know TikTok, I also interned with their parent
She
company,
also
which is
made TikToks
Bytedance.
and
No, I did not. So Bytedance was the parent company of TikTok. So there I interned as an HR VP intern, and then there I got a good hands-on experience of what an HR career would look like, and I really liked the prospects that were there, and I really liked the subject in general. So I went ahead with it.
okay. And so how was the, you know, what do you call it, माहौल माहौल घर पे कैसा माहौल था?
My parents have been really chill.
नहीं
Okay.
जब when you converted IIM Indore and finally you took an admission there, नहीं tell me there's two situations. One when you converted CAT, you cleared CAT, and secondly when you converted IIM Indore or the college that you want to go in for your MBA.
Okay, so you need to realize this fact about me that I'm a very big crybaby, okay? So when I did not score as much as I should have in CAT, I cried for an entire day. And my parents were like, "Are you stupid? Like, what is the reason behind all your crying and all, yeah, this and that?" And
Yeah, but
okay.
even I cried when I received my CAT
It
result
happens
genuinely,
because
and that was because of happiness. This was the first time ever in my life that I had experienced this. Initially, I used to think कि यार ये जो खुशी वाले आंसू हैं कुछ नहीं होता है, ये सब बकवास है जो दिखाते हैं. लेकिन that day, I remember I gave my test का exam. It was on 4th or 5th January. So मैं just वो एग्जाम देके मैं बाहर आया था and got a call from धीरज, my brother. So he was like पार्टी दे. मैं किस बात की पार्टी दूंगी, तेरा कैट में इतनी परसेंटाइल आई है. एंड मैं फोन कट करके एंड आई स्टार्टेड क्राइंग जेन्युइनली. आई वाजंट क्राइंग, मतलब वो आंसू अपने आप आ रहे थे. सो इट हैपेंस.
No, I wasn't crying with happiness. I was really disappointed in myself because I studied a lot.
Overachievers.
I studied a lot.
Okay.
No, and the day
So even I also studied a lot यार, ऐसे मत बोल.
I studied for 6 months straight.
9 months.
6 months straight.
Okay. So and when you converted IIM Indore, like the college you want to
So
go in.
I was really contemplating between general and HR. So I was really weighing in my options. My parents were like, "Are you stupid? Why are you considering this option? You have to go to IIM Indore." I was
Consider
like,
this option as an NMIM.
yeah.
Okay.
I was like, wait a second. I'll talk to a few people. Then I went around, talked to, because I am a kind of a person who need to plan each and everything before doing something. So I went around, talked to a few people. So there was this person who I was interning under at Bytedance. I talked to him. He was an IIM Ranchi pass out. So I talked to him. I asked him that what should I do, because you have been in this field, you know the field. So he's like, go for IIM Indore. It's a brand name. You'll have a good brand name under your belt. And so he casually mentioned, he was the first one to ever mention this to me, that and try getting a gold medal there. मैंने कहा, why? What good it would bring
Try
to
getting
me.
a gold medal.
Yeah, he said. He just mentioned that it will help you in the career progression. And that is the day I thought that okay, if I go to IIM Indore, I am getting a gold medal. That is the day I decided.
And yes, she achieved that. She is a gold medalist. Congratulations again for the same. So with this, we end our podcast. Thank you, Palak, for coming in and sharing all the information that you have in your brain. So we'll be catching up with her in another podcast. Just we'll be discussing IIM life, how is life in an IIM, and how to proceed with it, how to deal with it, and how to cope up with it. Because she was pretty well managed and pretty well, sorted as to how to do it. Thank you for watching this podcast, and do watch other podcasts of this series as well. And thank you for coming. Just like, share, subscribe, and be there as a viewer.
Thank you.